Yeah, I am certain that like when he wears biking shorts to the gym, which I bet he does, it's distracting for everybody, straight and gay alike.
Yeah,
Just
he's like, I don't like wearing underwear. It doesn't feel good. We know why you don't wear underwear, babe. All right. Are you ready? Got it.
That
People,
should have been recorded.
I am recording right now. God, we should sell tickets to the pre-show. Like we should have a Patreon where you get to listen to you and I just talk the filthiest shit before we hit record on this show. And this is Gaytriarchs. So, Gavin, I have never met a Facebook argument.
Oh, geez.
I can't jump right into.
Okay,
I can't.
For children out in the room, Facebook is the MySpace of 2026.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, that's a great way. But I can't help myself sometimes. And when I see somebody say something or do something that I just think is so fucking stupid, I have to throw my hat in the ring. My unasked for hat, right?
Yeah.
So I saw somebody post in a group I'm in, basically a lesbian couple who has a daughter, and they were like, our daughter had to perform in the Father's Day concert. And we were very upset, and we had a meeting with administration, and we told them this event shouldn't be called Father's Day, and it was like this whole rant. And basically, she said at the end of it, "What do you think?" So I use that as a reason for me to throw my anonymous fucking hat in the ring.
Yes.
I deserve this, right?
You deserve
I had a long wait. I deserve this.
You deserve this. You restrained yourself, and they asked for it, though. They want to know your thoughts.
They asked for it. She asked for it, which is not something normally I feel comfortable saying, but she did ask for it. So this silly start is leading me into my diatribe about Mother's Day, Father's Day, but it's important, I think, for gay parents who don't have one of those things sometimes. How do we approach these holidays? Because I fully disagree that it should be canceled or be called All Parents Day. Fuck that.
It's
agree
Father's Day
and Mother's Day.
I disagree. Yes.
You agree that you disagree. Great. So I have always, and I think maybe this is true for you, I have always taken the position of, on Mother's Day, as gay men with no mother for our child doesn't have a mother, we celebrate the other mothers in our lives. We celebrate their grandmother. We celebrate their aunt who is a mother. We celebrate their friends' moms. We get to do, and we do all the same events. We paint all the same fucking flower pots. We make all the same paper ties that say hello, Dad, or whatever. And we just customize them for the grandparents or the whatever. And that way they are not the odd man out. There's no like, and this post was saying, well, should we remove her from all events starting next year? It's like, you're ostracizing her more.
Yeah.
So you're also,
yes, you're also undermining or selling short her own intelligence that she can't distinguish between some holidays are this, some families are like that. Like, you are a different by societal norms family as it is. Why are you making this more difficult? Instead, embrace the difference. That's
but embrace
nonsense.
The difference. But also, this is a broad enough holiday where we can all fucking celebrate it. If I didn't have a grandfather or a dad or a brother who's or have nothing, I have a friend who has a dad.
Yeah,
my friends have dads.
Also, I mean, leave it to me to make it about myself and bring it down. But no, it just is a fact. My father passed away when I was 8, so I grew up without it. And listen, I have now had 67 Father's Days without my own dad, right? There was an age joke that I just took from you. But anyway.
Well, I'm unsure of the tone right now because you've really brought it down with the dead dad thing.
But my point
I was unsure how funny we should be.
I had to be mature about it and just be like, okay, so I don't have a dad. And my mom didn't exactly pivot to let's celebrate the other dads. But, we turned it into my grandfather and my uncles. And so we kind of did. But it's just the reality. Like, stop being so oversensitive. This is why we progressives, we liberals, we Democrats can't always have nice things if we're going to take it too seriously.
Have nice things. So we cannot have nice things because I just had this conversation with a friend who came over the other day about how like the woke Olympics or whatever, and like everyone's like reaching for the gold or whatever. Anyway, there's no point to this story other than for the impending Mother's Day next month, and then also for Father's Day. If you don't have one of those because you are a queer family, do not remove your child from those events or have these sit down, quiet, hushed voice conversations. Just say, hey, we celebrate grandma. We celebrate Aunt Erin. We celebrate these other people in our lives. And then it's all the same. My children have never blinked once at these things because it's been so fucking normalized.
Just normalize it. Just normalize all of our weirdness. All of our weirdness. Speaking of weird, David, last week was spring break for my kids.
I have been so excited to hear about this because I told you before, I didn't even reach out to you because I really wanted to hear it fresh on the podcast.
As a reminder to everybody, so I grew up in Colorado, and I'm more outdoorsy than your average kid, right?
Yeah.
I so want my kids to not grow up entitled, to grow up with a sense of scope, to grow up with an appreciation for nature, and even, dare I say, America, which we can talk about that another time. When I had a political discussion with my kids, when I said, listen, I love our country. And my daughter was like, wait, what? And I'm like, okay, we all need to fire down here. Yes. But anyway, I didn't want to do I wanted to do something a little different that people in Connecticut do not do very frequently. And we flew to Vegas, rented an RV that comfortably slept 5, though there were only 4 of us. I upgraded to, just give everyone a little extra space. And
but your ego is one of those. So that is total of 5 people.
It was hard to get it through the door. The door is very narrow. And we drove to Zion National Park for 3 nights, Bryce Canyon National Park for 2 nights, and capped it off with a night at the Pink Coral Sand Dunes State Park in Utah, which it's pink coral. No, it's actually coral pink sand dunes, because you can imagine for an entire week I was singing pink coral sand, of course. And then actually capped it off with 2 nights in Vegas, which, let's be honest, was 1 night too many, because boy, all of my communing with nature was absolutely washed from my body with 2 nights in Vegas. But anyway, we cooked many meals in an RV. I drove a 25-foot RV. My kids were thrilled at the beginning. Just the idea of the way your kids probably run into a hotel room and it's so fun. It's so different. It's so big. Cartwheels, cartwheels on the couches. I once again had to tell my kids, please do not use this as a gymnasium, because it's a rental. And we were never on the road for all that long. But man, I tell you, being in an RV, which I had never done before except to visit somebody else's RV. I mean, seatbelts just out the window. My son set up cushions to just sit between the 2 chairs at the front to look out the window.
At that point, like,
hey, get me a
spring
Coke.
Break.
Yep.
Yeah.
Honey, get me a beer. Well, not exactly that, but kid, go get me a Coke. And yeah, it was one night, it dipped really cold, and I didn't know what it meant to be plugged in, or what it meant to be, a plug-in campground. So we had no electricity and we had no water, but we had a battery and water with us. So you could take a shower and cook an entire meal without being plugged in, but then you needed to conserve your batteries a little bit. This was the first night in Bryce Canyon, where ultimately it got down to 29 degrees. And my partner and I couldn't sleep that night because we just thought the kids are going to freeze to death, as if they're 8 months old. I mean, they're fine. They could just get up and complain. That was rough. So we ended up bailing on sleeping at the national park, and went to a campground where we could plug in. Let me tell you, campground people are not as not our people as I would have expected. I did not feel MAGA vibes all over the place. Actually, it was very international. Lots of French people.
Because I think when you're in a camp, or like you're in a national park, that's different than at Daytona. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's a different kind of camper person.
For sure.
Like, if you're in Zion, like, you have to appreciate and understand nature and know basic facts.
Yes.
To go to like Pensacola, Florida, and you're like shitty RV, it's different.
For Daytona, you're exactly right. And we had pretty major hikes every single day. I had 437 fights a day with my daughter, who generally didn't want to do anything, but then did it and was always like, yeah, that was pretty cool. And of course, bringing it back to my perennial parental complaint, which is like, how much do you push and how much do you fight because it's going to be good for them in the end. And we had discussions. I cried at one point when I was trying to explain even the bad memories are memories being created that are not just watching other people on their phones. Or you've been on a beach before, you'll be on a beach again. I'm giving you opportunities to remember things because believe me, sweetie, 95% of life is a complete snooze fest. And so you might as well enjoy these moments from time to time. And my partner, he was totally down with the RV as well. And by the end, he was like, I could see us like, I don't know, not having a house one day and just driving around. And I was like, whoa.
And you're like, slow down, sweetie.
Yeah. Absolutely not. But anyway, it was.
Well, you survived. I'm very happy that you survived. Yeah.
Survived and thrived. And I would highly recommend it. And I will give you my itinerary. Reach out. Hey, any reason for a listener to reach out, I will share my itinerary with it because we nailed it. We hit all the hot spots of Zion and Bryce, and it was awesome. I highly recommend it. All
right.
It was a blast.
Good. I'm looking at our outline right now, and I think we have a theme going on, which is like getting away from your phones and really embracing life and experiences. Because my dad hack of the week is not really a hack. It is just something that I've tried that worked for me. And so I'm going to put it in the hack category.
Okay. Yeah.
I am, as your daughter is, fully addicted to my phone. I'm addicted to my phone in a way that is because of work and because that's where life is, but also because I'm addicted to my phone.
Yeah. We all
can't keep looking at it for the time, for the weather.
Yep.
Did I get that notification?
Yep.
Is something more interesting happening?
Yep.
Candy Crush. Like I am really bad at it. And my husband notices it. My kids notice it. And that's what really fucks me up is when the kids are like, Daddy, stop looking at your phone. Look, I'm doing something. I'm like, I'm literally missing out on life. And so my husband and I have been trying to do things to try to like help us. He's the same way. Not as bad as me, but get better at this. And so the thing that we're trying now, which is really hard, but is net positive, which is we've chosen times that are phone free. And we have to plug our phone in a different fucking room. And so I have to turn my phone to do not disturb because I have my watch. So it's pinging me. It's tapping me. Hey, did you know that somebody on Instagram liked this? And so during dinner time and during bedtime, like reading books and teeth brushing, that phone is in a totally different room. And it's the only way that I can not think about my phone when I'm doing these things, which I don't want. I don't want to be laying next to my daughter in bed and thinking about who's texting me right now.
And you feel the ping. Yeah, you feel the buzz in your phone or in your pocket. Yeah.
And it's never anybody important.
Nope.
Right? It's usually you. Yeah. Just kidding. No, but when I do get back to my phone and let's say there's 100 notifications, it's all like, oh, somebody liked your reel. It's not a reason to miss out on my child's bedtime. Yeah. So my dad hack of the week is if you're also a phone addict like me, plug your phone in a totally different room than you are in for whatever your time period is. For us, it's dinner and then bedtime, and turn off your notifications. It will if somebody's died and they need to get a hold of you, they'll get a hold of you in 30 minutes later. They're already dead. It doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean? So that's my dad hack of the week.
Anything we can possibly do to just put him down and walk away. Yeah, enough said. But it is a constant effort and battle to put him down. And my daughter even said to me at one point, as I was telling her, please put your phone down. Because my rule was, bringing it back to me, my rule was in the RV, if the RV is moving, you cannot be on your phone. Because I knew I wasn't going to, I thought it would be a little too extreme to say 24 hours, you're just going to give me your phone for the next 5 days. Because I wasn't going to give up my phone for 5 days. I wasn't. Yeah. So, and so I said, as long as it's moving or we are out of the RV, like hiking or something, you cannot have your phone. But at the same time, if she wants to take a picture, which guess what? The only pictures she took for like selfies and Snapchat and whatnot were just of like her laying in bed still, not actually of the Zion Canyon behind her back or anything like that. Anyway, it worked just fine. But God, I completely lost that train of thought, except to just say it is a constant battle. Oh, and she did scream at me at one point and say, Dad, this is just how it is nowadays. And I'm like, no, you're sorry. It is how it is. Yes.
And not in my house.
Yes. And not in my RV.
Yeah.
So, you might realize that all of the news is terrible. All of the news is terrible. I avoided it for an entire week. But you know what, David? Every single morning I woke up, of course, the first thing I did was look at my phone. every morning I would wake up and be like, did he die yet?
I know.
Did he die?
We have a bottle of champagne in our fridge. Yeah.
But I dug deep to find out some things. And one, Russia fined a news outlet this week for putting out a review of Heated Rivalry. And I make that a celebration that there is some news outlet out there in Russia that is actually bringing Heated Rivalry to Russian viewers. And so that's a celebration, despite the fact that they are getting fined for it, which is, of course, bullshit. I think it's pretty cool that they did that. But you know what? I'm saying it tongue in cheek that there is no good news out there. I don't think that we are turning a corner yet, or turning the tide, or turning anything. But there is some room for some optimism. Did you know that the Montana Supreme Court determined that their state constitution absolutely and unequivocally protects trans people and trans children throughout the state, which is amazing. Hey, Montana, good for you for standing up for
thought you guys were like
humanity.
Prairie dogs and plateaus, ends of list.
And guns and banning trans people. But no, the real momentum there. And then furthermore, this is hot off the presses. We're recording this on Monday the 20th. Did you know that a federal judge actually vacated, which I'm like, that's a legal term? Reversed the Kennedy Declaration, as in RFK Jr., that permanently blocks trans youth care in hospitals. In other words, the Trump administration basically said you cannot treat trans children according to their gender identity, or we will take away all of your Medicare and Medicaid funding. And that is a very big deal, obviously, for hospitals. And even though hospitals unfortunately did capitulate, I mean, it's a capitalist society. You do have to still... serve 97% or 98% of your hospital population. So anyway, just today, hot off the presses, a federal judge said, nope, you can't do that. So who knows what that's going to do for hospitals like New York City hospitals and the state of Connecticut and the state of Colorado, which is there's a hospital actually suing to be able to provide trans care. But anyway, point being, there is some good news out there, believe it or not. So,
and you know what else is good news is Caitlyn Jenner's passport.
Yes.
Yes. I don't want trans people to go through any sort of like gender identity issues that are at the hands of the government.
Yeah.
Except for Caitlyn Jenner. I want her passport to say M.
Yeah.
I want people to call her a man. Yeah. I want her to be misgendered. I want her to have the worst. Because that interview where she's like, my passport came back and I wrote a letter to Trump, but he hasn't responded, but I still love him. I was like, you are so fucking mentally ill. I cannot even with you. Yeah. I hate you. Anyway, I didn't mean to go there, but I just, this is what made me think of it. She makes me, there's something about a queer person who actively advocates against her entire community because she thinks it actually won't affect her because she's actually very rich and elitist.
Yep.
And I'm so glad that she is paying for it.
100%.
You know what else we're paying for with our ears?
What?
Our top 3 list.
Gaytriarchs top 3 list. 3, 2, 1.
All right, so this is technically my list, even though it was your week because you didn't have anything prepared.
I'm prepared, but
okay. This was last week. You didn't have prepared. So I hope you have the next week list prepared. Yep, he furiously starts writing. Okay, so this week is what are the top 3 songs that capture parenting? Now, you could go a lot of different ways with this.
Yep.
I weirdly went a very earnest route, which I did not expect for my no.
Oh,
so I know. So the first one, I'm sorry to say, in number 3, Sunrise Sunset. Fiddler on the Roof.
Okay.
By the way, spoiler alert, all of these are from musicals because I'm gay. But Sunrise Sunset is a really beautiful kind of like shit keeps moving, guys. People get older. Your child is not going to be a child forever. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Enjoy it because it happens. And it's just what's going to happen. Number 2, this is a little bit of a deep cut. So if you don't know what this song is, please listen to it. It's called Stop Time from Big, the musical.
Okay.
Now, the movie Big, you guys know what the movie Big is about. There's a song at the top of Act 2 that Josh's mom sings called Stop Time. Basically like, my boy is getting older. I wish time would slow down. The kind of classic parent conundrum or whatever, but it's like the lyrics are so fucking beautiful. And she says in the song, which is what I think is at the heart of all the parents saying, you're going to miss it. You better enjoy it while it lasts. Is I wish I could go back. I want to have that moment now for a second. I want to go back and hug the 2-year-old. I want to go back and hold the baby. I don't, this kid is not that kid. These are different people. And there's this beautiful, the very last song is like, bring him back and then I'll let him go. This idea of like, I just want one last hug with my kid or whatever, which we never get, right? We never get.
You don't.
And number one, inarguably in my life, the way my life runs, the number one song that really captures parenting is Little Girls from Annie. Where she's like little shoes and little socks and little... My house is filled with little things. There are little socks on every fucking square inch of my house. So that's my number one. What about you?
Wow, did we take a completely different tack on this? And as you gave me the idea for this, I knew exactly which way I was going to go, which is just songs that have become about parenting for me that have nothing to directly do with parenting. Okay. And one of these is a hot lick from actually just this week, and I was thinking about it while I was on spring break, and that's what I'll start with. Number 3 for me is Hello from Adele. Okay. Because there were so many times this weekend, on spring break, that I was singing the song to my daughter. Hello. Hello. I was wondering if after all these years you'd like to meet. Hello. Because she was on her phone not paying attention to me. So I would just start singing. Hello. Hello, after all this time, will you please pay attention to me? That was actually something that my partner and I were singing to her all weekend long, because even though we had so much time away from phones, she was still on it the entire time and is increasingly not listening to us when we actually say, hello. So anyway, so Adele's number 3 for me is Hello by Adele. Number 2, I used to sing this when changing their diapers back in the day, and it always felt creepy then, and it certainly feels creepy now. Every Breath You Take by The Police. Because
I'll be watching you.
Yes. Because I was always thinking, then it was almost like a bedtime song for me to sing to them. Every breath you take, every move you make. Da, 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 da. That used to be one of our diaper changing songs.
Wow. Now I know why your kids are the way they are.
Yeah. Number 1 for me, we used to have so many dance parties when the kids were little. It gets worse, David. You should go have a dance party with them tonight. We used to do dance parties a lot while Shut Up and Dance was a big song for us. And my son particularly liked the song, but all he ever wanted to do to dance was to just jump around and be thrown. And I would scream the lyrics in his face, shut up and dance with me. And that never got through because he is not a dancer and doesn't want to dance with me. But so often when you're parenting, you just want the kids to do the thing that you want them to do and do it the way you want them to do it, like dancing, right? Well, that's the way I wanted it to be. Instead, I just threw him around. But boy, my biceps looked really good back then when I was throwing my children onto the couch in ways that probably were more aggressive than sometimes they needed to be. Not because that could take a wrong turn. Anyway, Shut Up and Dance was one of the songs where I'm just like, shut up and do the thing that I want you to do. And then that song gets in my head. There you go. Those are 3 songs that actually make me think about parenting, both today and yesteryear. Okay, so for next week, I am already thinking and frankly stressing about summer because I'm thinking it's already April. Have I signed up for any camps? No, not really. Am I already too late? Probably. And I think about all the mistakes I make all the time. So what are the top 3 mistakes parents make about summer?
So, Gavin, this week we have another repeat in the Gaytriarchsosphere, and for very good reason. She is a doctor of nursing practice. She's an advocate for children with autism and committed to providing inclusive, family-centered care to all patients, even the ugly ones. But remember, she is also a mom and very funny. So she fits all of the requirements here at this stupid show to be our guest. Please welcome.
We're so lucky.
I know. Please welcome back to the show one of history's mysteries, the woman who will tell you like it is, but also can prescribe you really good drugs. Dr. X.
Dr. X, thank you for coming back.
Hi, thank you for having me back.
Would
We're so
you
glad.
like to write us a prescription for something fun this week?
I would prescribe both of you some uninterrupted me time.
Oh, look at that. Look how adorable that is.
So adorbs.
I was looking for something a little heavier. But yes, no, I would love that prescription.
Also,
I think it would be really-
insurance does not cover
They don't
uninterrupted
cover that.
me time. So thanks a lot for nothing. Thanks for nothing.
They definitely would not approve the prior auth.
They would not. But wouldn't it be fun if doctors could prescribe like you need a 90-minute massage? Like you need your husband to take out the trash without having to ask him. That would be pretty cool, actually.
Can I prescribe myself that?
Yes.
That would be lovely.
Yeah. I don't know what the laws are about doctors prescribing things for themselves, but I think
you know
you
what?
do it.
Along those lines, when I'm Clark Kent and not Superman here on Gaytriarchs, I work with an arts advocacy organization, and increasingly some states are having prescribing artistic therapy to help people. Now, I'm not sure that like going to a museum is what a parent needs. A parent needs a Xanax and just time off. And I can see that a 72-year-old benefits from going to a museum or a concert. But nevertheless, prescribed art therapy, I hope, will be a way of the future, along with you being more liberal with your drugs for us.
I hope both things. I mean, we prescribe play therapy, so...
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
Okay.
Is that for children? I mean, hopefully, or is that for
children? But like, why can't an adult have that too?
Yeah, Dr. X can't send us a prescription to like Six Flags. Like, I don't think that's possible.
I was thinking more Grinder or Scruff, but that's
okay.
cool.
Okay. Well, before we get into all the fun parts, tell us, please, how did your kid drive you nuts today?
Well, so my child is almost a year old, and with that has come some newfound independence on her part. So she this morning woke up with the determination that she was going to feed herself today.
Awesome.
Okay.
Which, normally a great thing. Except for the fact that she had a yogurt pouch this morning, and her favorite skill is squeezing the pouch and making a fountain come out.
Who wouldn't?
This time, she aimed it at the cat.
And how did the cat feel about the yogurt squeeze?
Well, naturally, I mean, no one enjoys a yogurt to the face.
No.
So my cat proceeded to take off and run around the house, spraying yogurt everywhere.
Yeah.
And that's been really fun to clean up today.
Yeah, it's fun to see. The cat is just spreading the joy around the house as much as she can. And then in about 11 months, you're going to discover a corner of the house that just doesn't smell right. And it's because you missed a yogurt splatter mark or whatever.
100%.
You don't. Are you lucky enough to have a dog who goes around licking up the yogurt after the cat has spread the yogurt?
Nope, just two cats, Norman and Edna.
Which we have seen already. I know this is an audio platform, but both the gray one and the orange one we have seen already throughout. They've
been competing to share their cat anuses with us right there in the video.
Yes.
Speaking of anuses, we wanted to bring you back because you were wildly helpful to us and our listener, because we as parents, especially first-time parents, don't know what the fuck we're doing. We don't have any clue what we're doing. And on top of that, if we are two men and two gay men and two platinum star gay men, we have such little information about women and their bodies. And so you were so helpful. We got so many messages of people being like, oh my God, thank you so much. And so I was like, we have to have her back because she's amazing. And also, not all of our listener is a gay man. We have lesbians, we have women, we have we have a lot of folks. And so I thought, why not bring you back and talk about boys and men and baby boys and toddler boys and preteen boys and all the other disgusting creatures that may inhabit our houses. And what should we know and what should we prepare for and what's different? Because even though I'm a man and I have boy parts, I still ran into I don't know, Gavin, if you felt this way. I still ran into some things where I was like, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is.
Or what to do with it.
Or what to do with it. And having a doctor in your corner that you feel comfortable enough being like, I don't know what this is. And asking those questions, I think, is important. So that is why we have you back. Also because we love you. So Dr.
Happy to
X,
be back.
thank you so much.
Hopefully I can help shed light on some of those things. But I'll be honest, there are times when people come with questions and they're like, what is that? And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
What has stumped you of late?
Well, nothing really has stumped me, but I can tell you I've been shocked lately with the amount of people who've come home from the hospital with no explanation before they get home of what a healing circumcision looks like.
Oh. And can you illuminate all of us?
Yes, because
Yes.
that is obviously, to me, as I was going through all the questions that like people talk about with boys, that is like that's the top of the mountain right there.
And
But
it
yes,
shocks me that people, they leave the hospital with no one prepares them. It looks like a cherry lollipop with some yellow, strange mucousy material on it. It's gross.
Yeah, that sounds pretty disgusting. I am circumcised. Gavin is circumcised, but we didn't look at our penis. We know what it looked like back then.
Yeah.
And I did not circumcise my child. So I actually don't know what a freshly shorned penis looks like. And so evidently now I do. And that would probably scare the shit out of me because you have an open wound on your infant. And not only do you not know what the fuck you're doing and you're at your house and you have this fucking baby, but now you're like, I don't know, is this what it's supposed to look like? So it looks like a lollipop with, oh my God.
Yeah. So the entire tip gets red, swollen, raw looking. It looks like a cherry lollipop.
Yeah.
And then the healing skin gets this yellow film on it.
Is that an infection sort of?
No, that's actually healthy healing penis. So a lot of people come in a panic thinking that their circumcision is infected when in fact, nope, it's that gross to begin with. It just means it's healing the way it should be.
When they're working correctly.
Yes.
Especially those little baby bodies who are working overtime to be able to compensate for the scalpel. Oh, geez. Wow.
Oh my God.
It's more of a guillotine.
Yeah.
So while we're here, let's just start hard here because already my stomach is churning from the cherry lollipop metaphor. But people with penises have very strong opinions on this, whether they are uncircumcised or not, if they want to pass it along. And so I feel like I want to hear from the doctor's mouth. Do you have pros, cons? What is your point of view as a doctor about circumcision? Not like cultural, but like medical. Like, should we be circumcising our kids?
Sure. So I think that it's important to understand that it is a cosmetic procedure.
Yes.
So there really isn't a medical reason to do it. There are, very rare exceptions, but most of the time it is entirely cultural, the decision, and the opinion of the parents. There are reasons why you can't circumcise. So if the hole that the pee comes out of is in the wrong spot, if the penis is too small to circumcise, if anatomically it's a little bit twisted, there are reasons why you'd be refused a circumcision in the hospital. But usually, eventually, once that problem is corrected, you can still get it done. There is an infection risk when you get circumcised, but the risk is quite low. It's a generally safe thing to get done, but it is entirely cosmetic. So it's impossible to really give a medical opinion other than that. It's just entirely based on the family. And I recommend if someone's on the fence about it, they should talk to the pediatrician that they're choosing to bring their child to once they're born before they go to the hospital. because they'll be faced with that decision within 24 to 48 hours of giving birth.
Yeah.
So it's always good to have that opinion ahead of time. You can also research ahead of time if that's something that you're interested in. There is always the option of getting a circumcision later in life. So if you choose not to circumcise your child and they then want one later, it's an extremely painful recovery, but it is an option.
Yeah. I actually know somebody who did in high school.
As do I, yep.
Yeah. And he, it was a child of a friend. So I wasn't exactly going to ask him a lot of embarrassing questions because after all, he'd be like, creepy old man, why are you asking me about this? But they did talk about it. They, as a family, they were laughing, and he was laughing about how they went on a hike just a few days after he did it and his extreme discomfort. And they were laughing about it, but I had so many questions and I just kept my mouth shut for once.
Yeah, which is, listen, we know this is a rare thing around here. I love that you said this is a purely cosmetic procedure, because I think my personal journey, and Gavin, this is probably your journey too, is like we were circumcised in a time where like there was just things you just did.
Yeah.
You just did it. That's what boys, you just do it. And
yeah,
then you
never, meaning Americans.
Yes, that's what I meant. Yeah,
Americans specifically.
Very American. Yeah. But then we are now in a generation where we question everything and we want to know why, and we try to do, and then I think the consensus is like, there's no fucking reason. Also, a cosmetic surgery on your baby's dick for what? Beauty reasons? Like it just all of a sudden was like, oh, this is so clear. Even though my husband and I were like, what should we do? But when I hear dad say, well, because I want him to look like me, I was like, who is having penis sharing competitions with their dads?
Yeah,
you need to speak to a therapist. If that's
this isn't the 70s and 80s where you walk around completely butt ass naked in the gym anymore. But I can't think when I saw I cannot think of a time that I ever saw my dad's junk, and my kids don't see my junk anymore. Yeah, and my kids don't see my junk either. If accidentally the door opens in a shower, I'm not going to make a big deal out of it, and let's celebrate the human body in all the ways. But they are not looking closely enough to know if we look alike down there or not.
But think about that. Like we are more of a naked family than maybe that is. Like we poop with the door open. Whatever. It's no big deal. But
we're going to return to that.
But even then, I don't know why we have to be this. Like what? Like, let's break the trauma. It's obvious. My point of view is like we should not be circumcising our kids unless there's some sort of medical reason. But I think there was this like time where it was like, oh well, circumcised penises are the standard as far as what it looks like in porn, in just life. So any deviation from that looks gross or different when it's the exact opposite.
Yeah. Yep. It's entirely cosmetic unless sometimes the foreskin can get stuck. Sometimes there could be a reason we need to remove it. I mean, even I'm a Jewish woman, and in my culture, it used to be everyone circumcised because it was a cultural part of the when a baby boy is born, it's like part of the experience. A lot of people are choosing not to do that now, even in Judaism. So it's becoming a very individualized choice per family. And I highly recommend people look into it before the baby is born and talk to their pediatrician before the baby is born, because it is a decision that you're pressured to make very quickly. And we can, that's a topic for another day, but it's there's not much time to think about anything when you're, getting your baby, and whether it be that you're meeting your surrogate in the hospital, or you are giving birth yourself, or, like my parents flying to another state to pick up your baby that you're adopting. Those decisions are still yours, and you still have a very short time to make it.
Yeah. And that time in the hospital is so fucking insane, and insane with joy too, right? Where like those kind of hard conversations you gotta have way prior. I remember hooking up with a guy in college once, and he was like, well, I had like a half circumcision, which I didn't know you could do. I don't know if it was like an accident or whatever. And it looked like his dick was always just kind of shrugging a little bit. Like it just always had just a little bit of extra skin, but not enough to like go over. Like it was very strange looking. But wait, so now that we're on dicks, let's just talk about dicks for a little while. If you choose not to circumcise your baby, we'll do both. if you choose not to circumcise your baby, so your baby has foreskin, what are some how do we take care of it? Because when we had our son and decided not to circumcise him, I am circumcised. So I didn't know, what are the differences? What should I be doing differently as far as cleaning and all that stuff?
So that's a great question. The
Thanks.
general rule of thumb is if the skin doesn't move that way easily, don't do it.
Oh, okay.
So you basically clean the outside, and when you're cleaning the tip of the penis, if there is foreskin, you clean what you can easily get to, essentially. You don't want to force that skin back, because what can happen is that skin can actually get stuck behind the head of the penis
Mm,
and then
okay.
cut off the blood circulation. Yeah.
That also sounds bad.
Yes, not great. So the general rule of thumb is if it doesn't move that way easily, you don't force it. As kids get older, their skin gets a little bit more movable, pliable. You can, start when they're in school age hood, that you can start cleaning the area a little bit more with pulling the skin back, but you don't want to force anything. And if it gently pulls back a little bit and you're able to kind of clean, that's fine, but you don't need to be purposefully retracting the foreskin. Once they're old enough to kind of gently pull that back without it getting stuck is when you can start to clean it, on the inside. The penis is basically inside a tube, for lack of a better word, and you want to leave it in the tube.
Right. And so if it's easy, don't create or don't force anything, like you said. Just let it kind of clean itself and don't overthink it, right? I mean, okay.
Yep. Keep it
Don't
simple.
especially those of us who were cut, don't think that this is a much bigger deal than it is, because Mother Nature actually knew what she was doing, right?
Yeah. I remember one time a mom telling me, she was like, what do you do with cleaning your kid's foreskin? Because every time I pull the foreskin back, my baby's screaming and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, first of all, stop. First of all, stop. Oh my God. She's like, yeah, but I got to clean it. And I was like, no. I think she was doing exactly what you said not to do, which is like forcing it down. Yeah. It sounds awful. And I was really nervous around my son's penis for a long time because I just didn't know what to do. It felt like I was with maybe a girl where I was like, I don't understand these genitals at all.
Yeah.
So it is helpful to have a medical professional that you trust to say, listen, I don't understand this. Can you please explain to me? Because there's things like when you get poop on an infant's balls, which are weird, they're impossible to clean. That I can
They're
understand.
so wrinkly.
They're so wrong. It's just the worst thing in the world. Like, this is so different. So now on the other side, let's say you do choose to circumcise your child in the hospital. How do you take care of it? What do you do?
So for the first few days, you put some Vaseline or A&D. The hospital will give you a big tube of it. Use what they give you. Don't pay for your own.
No.
And you
across the board, by the way, diapers, formula,
Yes.
syringes,
Take as many
ketamine, whatever you can grab from that hospital, grab it and go. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, bring an empty bag and fill it with stuff.
Yes.
So basically, you are almost making like a soft serve ice cream cone with that Vaseline. You want to swirl it around the tip of the penis, and then any extra you just kind of wipe on the diaper. Be careful not to wipe too much of it on the diaper, because then all the pee will ricochet off of it into either into your face or all over the baby's body. But you basically want to create a barrier between that raw irritated skin and the diaper so that it doesn't rub. And you just do that for a few days, and then you can stop,
a few days.
and you could just go about life as normal.
Because it does heal fairly quickly.
Yep, within a week.
Wow.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that is impressive.
But faster than if you do it 12 years later.
Yes. Very much so.
It's funny you guys knew somebody in high school. We know somebody, Gavin, and I can tell you offline, whose husband they had like a sex accident where it tore his foreskin.
Oh, wow.
Part of the healing was he had to get circumcised, and at 38 or something like that. I mean, it was it was evidently really terrible. So that is obviously the more key topic with boys. We're talking about this foreskin or whatever. But like as we move in, as that child grows, are there other things that are specific to boys we should keep an eye out for?
Yes. So testicles, you have 2 of them, or you should have 2 of them.
Yeah.
Some children actually are born with their testicles not in their scrotum.
Okay.
So you can have 1 testicle, both testicles kind of up in your inguinal canal, rarely even higher than that. And basically, over the first 6 months of life, they come down. And if by 6 months old, you can't feel both your baby's testicles in their scrotum, you need to tell your doctor. Then you would have to go see the urologist. Sometimes they could be retractile, meaning you kind of have to palpate them down, but then they come back up. Yep. And if they're not coming down and staying down, sometimes the urologist has to go in and kind of tack them in place.
Wow.
Sounds worse than it is. It's pretty simple, but it can really impact fertility and their future life.
Yeah,
so it's important.
If it doesn't descend, it can just become very painful or just infertile or
infertile. It can. I mean, the list goes on, but basically you're impacting fertility, you're impacting the health of that testicle. If it never comes down and it's just sitting up there, I mean, that's something in your body that's not supposed to be sitting there. So that could cause a whole slew of issues, but that's why it's so important. And your doctor checks it at every visit. So that's actually why your doctor is feeling your baby boy's testicles, because we're trying to make sure that they're in the right spot and that they're the right size. They should feel like a little pea.
Yeah. Do you know that that's how drag queens do their tucks? Is that they push their balls up back in that canal and then they duct tape over it. That's how they do it.
Duct tape?
Oh, you don't know that they duct tape everything up?
So I thought that they had special tape for that so that you didn't rip any hair out.
I don't know. Can we have some drag queens who are listener? Please reach out to us and let us know. I'm almost positive it's duct tape because I remember seeing it wasn't like a Pornhub porn video. It was on Pornhub just so they could show everything, but it was a drag queen showing people how they tuck, and they were literally doing it. And I was like, wow. I was like fascinated. But they literally pushed the balls up. I can't believe I have derailed this episode.
You really have, but
drag queens tucking. But we're talking about the canal of the balls coming down. Anyway, yes, this is, I think, important because also there's torsion that like they can get twisted and there's all kinds of
So we should talk about that too. So a lot of people don't know this. I think it's important to know. Once your child starts to play sports, things like that, if your child is complaining of testicle pain, there is a 6-hour window for you to do something about it.
Oh, whoa. Thank you for sharing that. Okay.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So if your child is complaining of testicle pain, especially after playing a sport, being very active, running around, you want to get that checked immediately. Like, get in the car and go. Because if the testicle is twisted.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but you are saying if they're complaining about pain, do you mean like as if they've just been kneed in the balls and can't stand up? Or do you mean like, it kind of hurts down there?
Usually it's intense pain, but sometimes it's not. So any pain I would get checked out. I think, mild pain if you can get a same day within a few hour appointment with your pediatrician, you can go to the pediatrician. But ultimately they need an ultrasound and that has to be done in the ER. Wow. So if there is pain and it's moderate to severe or persisting, it lasts more than, a few seconds. I mean, if they do get, kneed in the balls or whatever it may be, that can cause pain and that, will go away. But if you're, let's say you're driving home in the car from sports, you don't remember them injuring themselves and they're like, you know what, my balls hurt or my right ball hurts. That is an emergency because if that testicle is twisted, then the blood flow is not getting to the testicle. It can actually die.
Wow. That is brand new information for me as a man who has multiple testicles, and there's lots of testicles in my house. Let's just say they're everywhere. But I had no idea. That's my God, that's great.
And if you're ever not sure, call your pediatrician's on-call line. That's what we're here for. And every pediatrician should and usually does have an on-call number. You would want to call and ask what you need to do about it, because we can kind of triage over the phone and tell you this seems severe enough that you need to go get checked, or no, you can give it a little bit of time. But the answer is almost always get it checked.
Wow.
Along those lines, are there other things that you find that parents are too ignorant about, or maybe even embarrassed about, to talk and to discuss with their doctor?
Yeah. So basically, erections happen babyhood onward.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
plumbing issue, not a psychological issue.
Yeah.
They kind of happen. They can happen when you're changing the diaper. They can happen just randomly throughout the day. It's normal. Toddlers sometimes even start touching themselves down there because they realize it feels good. And that's, if your son is doing that, it's important to talk to your doctor about it, because they can kind of explain to you why it's happening and the fact that it's, plumbing, and also explain how you can set boundaries for something like touching themselves without making them feel negatively about it, like it's something that they need to be ashamed of, because it's something that they're going to keep doing.
What would be
So-
your advice in terms of setting those boundaries? I recall when my kid was in like a 2-year-old program at one point, one of the kids was definitely having some fun, or, just exploring. And the teachers I thought diplomatically said, that's something you can do at home in private, but you can't do it here.
Exactly. I usually recommend, telling them that that's something that they could do privately in their room. That's something that is only meant to be done at home, things like that. And depending on how old they are, depends kind of on how you explain that to them. But usually toddlers understand pretty well that that's a home activity and not a school activity.
It is such a like new parent, like, it's such canon event when you have that first diaper change erection and you're like, what the fuck is happening? You're a week old and your dick is rock hard. Like, what is happening here? And it took my doctor being like, oh yeah, that just happens. And you're like, oh, okay, I guess it just fucking happens.
What about also kids boys who are probably a little more, I don't know, 5 to 12 years old, and just grabbing themselves and just, as we all know, we knew that kid. Maybe you were that kid, David. I don't know. I wasn't.
Still that kid. I'm 46.
Still that kid. Yeah. Who just like goes there as a safety blanket or whatever. Do you have any insights into that and how to stop it, or if it needs to be stopped? Because it's just socially unacceptable, but
it's probably something that most people would want to stop, just because in public that is uncomfortable, and as the child gets older could be interpreted as inappropriate, especially if there are other children around. My recommendation, so that security blanket is grabbing something, right, and having something to hold. So you want to start having them associate a different object with that security. So whether it be a fidget, something they can keep in their pocket, a bracelet, some people wear like a ring they can spin, something that when they're nervous or worried, basically they can hold, touch, fondle, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
And it will give them something else to put in their hand. Now, it does take practice, repetition. It's not going to happen overnight. But if you want to break that habit, that's how you do it. And most schools will ask that you break that habit because the teachers don't really know what to do in those situations because it's not their kid.
Yeah. And also, I'm sure this has happened to us many times, like where a kid will say something to their parent, and then their parent will reach out to us and be like, "Can you have your kid stop touching his dick so much in class?" But that is, Gavin, you have a boy. It's like it's running away from them. They have to keep their hand down their pants at all time, and it is so annoying. So I'm curious. I am not at this age yet, and Gavin is approaching this now. Is there anything we should, as parents, should be on the lookout for or prepared for when it comes to puberty, when our boys start becoming man?
Yes. So basically, their penis and their testicles start out as kind of tiny little things dangling between their legs. When they go through puberty, they'll both start to grow. We actually stage puberty with testicle size. And there's hair that could start growing down there. It looks wiry. It's usually very thin at first. They can kind of start to get a smell down there.
Mhm.
So my biggest recommendation is talk about the penis, talk about your testicles, use anatomical terms, and talk about the changes that will be happening and that they're normal so that kids don't think that something is wrong with them when their penis starts to grow. It'll also prepare them for the fact that they might get random erections when they don't want one.
Mhm.
So, talking to them about how they can hide it a little bit if it happens in class, getting up and walking around to move the blood flow a little bit.
Mhm.
But all these things are normal. Honestly, the biggest thing I can say is just make sure they wash there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the amount of smelly private areas that
Mhm.
I have had to witness
Yeah.
Really? Even in the
in,
doctor's office, you have smelly junk they haven't
well,
showered in recently.
people bring their children right after sports practice.
Oh, geez.
Yep. So we actually have a trick. We'll put a mask on and then put a little bit of Vicks under our nose, and then we can't smell anything.
Yeah.
So if the doctor ever comes into your well visit with a mask on, and you smell a little Vicks Vapo Rub, then you know your kid
You
needs to shower more.
your kid needs to shower. But that's just such a huge change. I remember as a kid, the change of like having to shower because my body was changing and it was so annoying. And I remember being like, I don't want
Mhm.
it, like or whatever. But like, yeah, it's a thing. I remember getting erections in math class every day. And I was like, in my brain, I was going, what is it about logarithmic formulas that are
Mhm.
getting me? And it
And it was
obviously
not. You might be a size queen, but you are not a numbers geek.
I
at
was
all,
not a
right?
numbers queen, but it was so funny because I just remember and being so embarrassed and like shifting in my seat and trying to find a way to like not and like begging the teacher not to call me to
And
get up to.
speaking from personal experience, but not as a parent so far, man, wearing sweatpants in middle school, and yet all the
Nightmare.
kids wear sweatpants in middle school right now. I have not had to deal with this at home, but I remember being in a class and thinking, what the hell am I supposed to do? Because I'm in Mrs. Chandler's biology class, 7th grade, full on rock hard in sweatpants. And I don't think I probably never wore sweatpants again to middle school ever.
Yeah.
Tight underwear.
Tight underwear. Yeah, that's smart.
Do you have an opinion for kids in terms of wearing boxers or briefs?
Oh, that's
I mean-
interesting. Yeah.
Boxer briefs, the combo,
Okay.
is
Yeah.
actually what I recommend because it has the tightness of a brief
Mhm.
and the length of a boxer. So if they have to tuck their erection away, there's a place to tuck it.
There we go.
Up into their Z Cavaricci's gave in, right? Remember?
Z Cavaricci.
Um,
Nice.
Dr. X, you, as usual, are so wildly helpful. You've blown my mind. I'm sure you've blown many listener mind right now. I have a question before we kind of wrap up, and is I think about this in general for all doctors and all doctor visits, but specifically for parents. Is there something that you see families consistently asking about that is no big deal? And then on the flip side, why aren't more people asking about this? This is fucking important. And it could be boys, girls, any age. Is there something that jumps to mind?
Yeah. So something that parents, especially this year, have really been focusing on is everyone feels like their child is sick all the time and something must be wrong with them.
Oh.
Mm,
I am here to say that 99.9% of the time, there is nothing wrong.
they're
If
just sick.
they're,
Yeah.
yeah, they're just sick. If they
Just
bite
got
their
the
nails,
sniffles.
yeah, yeah. If they
Oh.
bite their nails, if they put their hands in their mouth, if they don't wash their hands before they eat, which let's be honest, most kids don't, they're going to get sick.
Uh-huh.
And that is going to be on repeat from September, mid September, until about April, May. And that is okay as long as they're not needing frequent antibiotics, as long as they're getting better on their own most of the time, as long as their cough doesn't last more than a few weeks, they're not having any trouble breathing, as long as they don't have more than 4 to 5 days of fever, most likely they're okay. And while, it's always okay to voice a concern about that, I think it's so important to believe the doctor if they tell you that they're not worried.
Yeah.
Because our goal is never to dismiss concerns. but at the same time, doing blood work, doing extra testing, sometimes it's not yet warranted, and it's putting your kid through something they maybe don't need.
Yeah.
So, it's okay if your kid is a germy, slimy, boogery mess for the entirety of the winter if they're going to school, if they're with other kids,
Yeah.
because kids are gross.
Kids are
And
so fucking gross. Can I tell you
Petri
that we
dishes.
went to one of those like indoor play places, which are obviously petri dishes or whatever, and my kids are good enough. My kid has broken his finger sucking habit, so we're okay. But I literally walked in and there was like a plastic window that like looked from one side to the other, and my daughter was licking the window. And I
Yep.
was like,
Yes, she
I
was.
am going to
And-
have to deal with this in about 4 days.
But
I'm
she's
gonna have
building
to-
up her immune system and, well, hopefully helping you build up yours.
I was like, you are fucking what is wrong with you? Okay, so conversely, is there something that like a lot of parents don't ask you about or aren't paying attention to that you think is more important?
Trampolines.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay.
Speaking of play places, trampolines are the most dangerous thing you could ever put your child on that is widely available to them, right?
Wow.
So you could break your ankle, you could break your femur, you could break your neck, you could hurt your back. I've seen
fun though. They're
so fun. But if your child is going to go on a trampoline, there should be no one else on that trampoline.
Okay.
And I would recommend it be a small trampoline that has netting around the sides. I'd prefer no trampoline, but that's the way you can do it safely. Places like Sky Zone make you sign a waiver for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah, because they're going
Yeah.
to get hurt and they don't want to have to be sued. So,
Yeah.
oh, that's terrible but important advice. Thank you.
And like
for
it makes
that
sense.
reminder.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
It's
and
so-
a lot of people don't think about it. They'll have all these
Or-
kids over their house and on their trampoline in the backyard, and all of them will be jumping at once. And I just can't emphasize enough how much liability that you have in that
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
If you don't, especially if you don't want to be dealing with someone's bone sticking out of their leg,
Oh.
maybe make them do one at a time.
Oh, jeez.
We're going to have to put a warning label on this episode. We started off with like cherry lollipop. Oh, God.
Hopefully not speaking of bone sticking out. We always like to leave it with tell us about most recent. Well, tell us about any time that you got your parenting merit badge when the shit really hit the fan. I know that we heard yours last time, but I bet another one has popped up.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I have an almost 1-year-old, so
Yeah.
I feel like
Every
that's
day.
happening every day.
Mhm.
I mean, I think the most recent development would be that I had my daughter visiting my friend who's pregnant in the hospital waiting to deliver. I brought my baby with me, and speaking of licking things, my daughter decided that it was a really good idea to lick the floor
of
the hospital.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
And-
The
Staph
shoemaker's children
infection.
go barefoot. I mean, that is
And
that
I
is
didn't
amazing.
put her on the floor. She got herself there and then started licking the floor. And then she played the game of let's put my pacifier in mommy's mouth.
Oh! Oh!
Oh, I'm gagging again for the second time.
So
this
how many weeks do you
episode.
have left to live? Because, oh my fucking God.
So if I get the plague in a week, because this happened 2 days ago, you know where I got it from.
Got it.
And
Oh
you,
my
as a
God.
doctor, I mean, in what many regards, I'm sure you're like, you're fine, kid. You're fine. You're fine. Just you're fine. But in this case, you're like, this is not.
Oh my
fine.
God.
The hospital floor is kind of where I draw my line. I mean,
Yeah.
my kid's in
yeah.
daycare. She's exposed to germs all the time.
But
But the
a
hospital floor and
Yeah.
she really, I mean, she was sneaky to get herself on that floor.
is-
She was
Apparently.
supposed to be eating her snack, and
Nope. Instead, she was
It-
chewing on some sort of body part that had fallen on the floor.
Blech.
Like, oh my
Yep.
God. Listen, we hear these every week, and this is a really good
That's
one.
a memorable one.
This is a memorable one. Dr. X, you are amazing. You are so helpful. You're so candid. You are everything I wanted
Thank
a
you.
doctor. Thank you for demeaning yourself yet again by being on our
Yet
stupid
again.
little podcast.
it's always
Thank
a
you.
pleasure.
So my something great this week is I went on a walk with my son because everyone else was sleeping in the house and he wanted to go on a scooter. We're walking around and we live in a new place, so we don't really know where we're at. And we found this like little, it was more than a drainage ditch, but it was less than a river. It was like this medium, like body of water. And he was like, can I go down there? And my first thought was like, no, it's probably dirty and it's probably gross and you're in Crocs. I don't really want. And then I had that moment of like, David, fucking let him do it. So he goes down there. And he has literally the time of his life. It is the most fun. He's digging in the dirt. He's getting all disgusting. And I've already just said we're doing a bath after this. I've already just said, fucking go for it. And I don't know what kind of bodies are in this little river or whatever, but I'm not asking any questions. I'm keeping an eye out for snakes because I'm like
Giardia, fine. Snakes,
no.
No.
Exactly. And so he's just having the fucking time of his life. And then it's like about time to go, and he was like, I want to pee in the river. And again, my instinct was like, Emmett, we are outside in public, there are people walking by, we're not going to do that. And then I went, pee in the fucking river, do it. He was never happier than him getting to pee in the river outside. And then we went home, we took a bath, and it was so fun. But like, I was like, these are the kind of things where like my old, like, I'm just stuffy. I'm stuffy because I don't want to just have anything bother me. I need to let that shit go and let him enjoy his childhood, because I want to play in a ditch when I was a kid. I would love to play in a ditch. So my something great is let your kid play in the snake-infested body ditch.
The sad part is that you didn't get in the river.
No,
ew, gross. But I've already talked about my trip too much. There were lots of something greats there. But something that I stumbled upon as I was absolutely on my phone, living in the non-moving RV, is, as a complete hypocrite, is the Instagram handle Mick K Gaston, MCKGASTON. He is a botanist.
Oh, yes.
But boy, is he a botanist.
He is a hopefully verse botanist, because he is hot. I've seen this guy many times before. He's got the deep voice.
I was looking deep through his Instagram feed, and I can't tell what his sexuality is, but let's just leave it as we're obsessed.
Yes, please. I know we say this a lot on the show. We like give you an @ or whatever. Go ahead and actually @ this guy, whether you like plants or biceps, because he's got both of them. And I want to do photosynthesis on his face, because he is the kind of chlorophyll I'm ready to borophyll. I don't know. Yeah, he is very sexy, very hot. He really could go two ways. He could go HGN, right? Like hot gay nerd,
hopefully
kind
all of them.
But then he could also go like, I'm just a straight guy who's like a little crunchy. Yeah, he's very sexy.
Anyway, well, that's our show. If you have any comments, suggestions, or general compliments, you can email us at GaytriarchsPodcast@gmail.com.
Or you can DM us on Instagram. We are at GaytriarchsPodcast. On the internet, David is at DavidFM everywhere. And Gavin is at Gavin Lodge on I'm a Hypocrite in an RV this time.
Please leave us a glowing 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts.
Thanks, and we'll breathe out oxygen through our leaves in a process called photosynthesis with you next time on another episode of Gaytriarchs. I'm sorry.